Dave, it's time to ask you a trivia question from the show that you are on. Are you ready?
Yes.
Rachel, our producer, you remember her?
No.
She's been working with us for 2 years.
You have to be very specific when you talk about Rachel's on our show now.
Okay, Rachel, our producer, Rachel Teichman.
Yes.
Here's the question.
Yes.
Here's your question. How old is Rachel, our producer?
23.
That is absolutely correct, Dave.
I'm killing this segment.
You are, because I think are you prepping? Are you just getting your
I have
facts straight?
flashcards.
Because you used to miss all these questions. But
things
now,
have changed, you know?
Everybody, check us out.
I don't do that anymore.
All right, everybody, check us out at 6 Unseemly at unseemlyquestions.com. Time to get the show started.
6 Unseemly Questions!
Welcome to 6 Unseemly Questions. I'm your host, Victor Varnado. This is my sidekick, Dave Rosinsky. We've got a great contestant on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Rachel McCartney. Yeah.
Hello.
There she is. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No, we're so happy to have you. We have a great studio audience as well. We have Taj Osario and Rachel Teichman in our studio audience. Wonderful. Thank you all for being here.
Hey.
Welcome back. Thank you.
All right. Rachel McCartney, I'm going to refer to you as Rachel. You are Rachel Prime. So Rachel Teichman, I will say Rachel Teichman if I mean you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Rachel Prime?
Yeah, we're making Rachel McCartney Rachel Prime for.
Why can't we just call her Rachel McCartney?
Just because it's easier to just call her Rachel.
Oh, I see what you mean.
All right, Rachel, I'm gonna tell you the rules of the show, and then we're gonna get started. Here are the rules. I'm gonna ask you 6 unseemly questions. At the end of each question, I will ring a bell if I like your answer, like this. However, if I do not like your answer, I will not ring a bell, and I'll tell you why. Regardless of how many bells you get at the end of the show, I'll decide whether or not you get $5 whole for being on the show. Are you ready?
All right. Yep.
All right. Let's get started. It's time for question number 1. Question number 1. Are you coming out of the pandemic with a new skill?
A new skill. I would say I'm a slightly better cook now. I cooked a lot over the pandemic and I wasn't very good at it before, but now my knife skills are fully passable.
Hell yeah.
Your knife skills?
Yeah, just cutting things up.
What's your specialty?
There's a soup that I make a lot and it's not very hard, but I've made it like probably 30 times, so it'd be weird if I didn't say it. It is a chicken and lime soup you can find on budgetbites.com, but what makes it different when I make it is I use a bunch of serrano peppers instead of like a single jalapeno. So it's really nice and spicy and it's like vaguely good for you, and I really like it. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So you're becoming a better cook. Was that actually by choice? Like, was it something that you tried to become a better cook, or was it just because you had to cook for yourself, you just got better over time?
I would say the latter, definitely.
Oh, the latter. So did you do...
I mean, I embraced being better at it as a result of practice, but it wasn't like on my bucket list to become a better cook before the pandemic happened.
I mean, I can understand that the benefits are obvious because you have better food immediately.
Yes.
So you get better food. But did you use your time in the pandemic in any way? Because like I feel like during the pandemic, some people had a lot of sitting around time. Did you have a lot of sitting around time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was mostly a lost year.
And did you have a project for your sitting around time?
I tweeted a lot, and so I got like a bunch more Twitter followers, but other than that, no.
All right. Well, tweeting a lot might have done it. So I will say no bell on that question. I'll tell you why. Because you did not actively try to get a new skill during the pandemic. Not that it's a good or bad thing. It's just I don't give a bell in this case.
All right.
All right. Now it is time for question number 2. But before we do that, can you tell people out there what you do?
I am a stand-up comic, and I am also trying to get a writing job in comedy. Mm-hmm. And before the pandemic, I was a textbook editor.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That is really interesting. Is that interesting work?
No, it's not.
What kind of textbooks?
Math.
Oh,
No.
man.
Hard cup.
Why did you say "oh man," Taj?
That sounds like kind of boring.
Yo,
It
Matt,
is, yeah,
Yo,
you got
Matt
it.
sucks. Matt
She
sucks.
just said it was not an interesting job. All right, it is
And I
time for.
appreciate your sympathizing, Taj.
Yeah, because I work in billing. I hate numbers.
It is time for question number 2. Question number 2: how do you like your toast?
I would say golden brown, like a basic.
Oh yeah, and that, and then you don't put anything else on it. No, like butter or.
Oh no, I'll totally put butter, or jam, or cream cheese, or whatever on it. It's just I figured you were asking about how I wanted it cooked.
Well, I mean, I definitely I think that does answer the question, like how you wanted it cooked. But I guess I was wondering, is there a specific way you like your toast?
Actually, yes. At
Okay.
the beginning of the pandemic, I had like one final shopping trip for a long time, and I tried to make that stretch for as long as possible. So there was literally a 6-week period where I was eating cinnamon toast 3 times a day.
Really?
Yeah, it was disgusting. And I like, it was delicious,
Mhm.
but nutritionally it was disgusting. And at this point, I mean, I just ate so much cinnamon toast in that period. I don't think I ever want to look at it again.
Did you end up like losing hair?
No,
That's
no,
good.
I've always had reasonably thin hair.
Does cinnamon make you lose hair, Rachel? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm
I
just
think-
talking about the lack of nutrition.
Oh, I see.
Did you ever have a problem with Cinnabon?
No, I mean, I'm not like a cinnamon fanatic or whatever. It was just like I had a ton of bread, I had a ton of butter, and I had a ton of cinnamon and sugar. And I remember like this is the one period in my life where I've experienced anything close to food scarcity. I also had a bag of clementines. And I thought it was a big bag, but I was just like avoiding going grocery shopping for such a long period of time that I would have like 2 of them every other day, and I would just like I was an anime character. I needed the vitamin C and the other nutrients so badly. Yeah.
But those are good for you. That's good.
No, I know. It's just I didn't have many of them, and I didn't
Yeah.
want to go out and get coronavirus.
I
Or
absolutely get that. Who
clementines.
wants coronavirus? You get a bell on that question.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the reason is because I think it's just a real true story, like where people were experiencing things they hadn't experienced for their entire lives during the pandemic, and just a good story. That's all. It was a good story. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it is time for question number 3. Question number 3: what advice would you give to a new comedian?
Have rich parents.
Oh, that's it? Just that simple?
I mean, I think that's the most important piece of advice. I have a reasonably rich dad, and that has helped me a lot. I don't have such a rich dad that he's able to get me like a publicist or direct connections or anything like that. But yeah, no, I think definitely the most important thing in comedy is to have rich parents. Nothing
Okay.
else even comes close.
Now I do have a couple of follow-up questions. The first one is, don't you think that advice that you give people is something that they should be able to act on in some way?
Well, I am giving advice in a roundabout way, which is if you are not someone with rich parents, I think you need to be realistic that the game is rigged against you.
Okay, so you're just basically saying be aware that it's going to be harder if your parents aren't rich,
Yes.
and then beyond that, it doesn't matter if you're funny.
I mean, it helps to be funny, but not as much
Well-
as you think it does.
Does it help to have funny parents?
No. I mean, maybe if you make like a gimmick account, like shit my dad says, where you tweet out the things your parents have said that are funny, that could help you. But that's a very specific path, and I think people may be tired of it.
Yeah,
If you do it, you have to do it with a twist.
Yeah, like shit my dad pays for.
Yeah.
I will say this:
You're welcome.
many
Happy
of
Father's
the
Day.
many of the top comedians that I know did not have rich parents.
Yeah.
So does your advice maybe not ring true?
Well, these top comedians, when did they become famous?
At different eras in their life.
Right, but I mean, like, what year? Because I feel like the market is so saturated now. A lot of it is about, like, I mean, it always was, but having a lot of free time, having certain connections. Yeah, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying, like, as far as advice goes, I think the most important advice in any field is you have to be realistic. And if things aren't working out for you, I think it's like a humanistic thing to say, don't blame yourself if the game is rigged.
If I don't like my parents, where do I get new parents? Ma and Pa store?
Huh.
Thank you.
The problem is if you don't have rich ones, you can't afford them there.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with my poor parents. Seriously.
I'm going to say no bell on that question. I'll tell you why. Although ultimately the advice that you landed on was good, the initial version of it, garbage. All right. So no bell on that question, and it's time to move on to question number 4. Question number 4. What movie are you embarrassed you haven't seen?
See, this is a difficult question because I am no longer embarrassed that I haven't seen any movies.
Oh.
There are many, many movies that I haven't seen.
Uh-huh.
Like I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen you know what? I did watch the original Star Wars trilogy because I had to do it for a special show, but I haven't seen the prequels. There's so much stuff I haven't seen The Godfather. There's so much canonical stuff that I haven't seen, but there is so much I'm ashamed about in every other area of my life that not having seen a movie can't even register anymore.
So you have no, for instance, like for me, I'm kind of a nerd. And so like if I haven't seen a particular nerd movie, it can be a little embarrassing. Like if I haven't seen something that is right up my alley.
Right. But listen, here's
So are you going to interrupt my question with a question?
No, sorry. I was just going to say, skip the prequels, watch The Godfather, leave the gun, and take the cannolis.
All very important things. Aren't you happy that Dave interrupted? So my question for you is do you have a type of movie that most people would think you have seen because of who you are?
I think people think I'm a lot nerdier than I am, just because of how I dress and being vaguely socially awkward or whatever. But no, I don't really have much of an interest in much traditional nerd stuff. Like I watched the Star Wars movies for a comedy show. I didn't enjoy them at all. The movies that I actually enjoy are either dramas or comedies. I'm like really pretty strict about that. I liked Moonlight, I liked Mean Girls, and I pretty much like nothing in between.
Gotcha. All right. You know what? I'm gonna give you a bell because you are so vehemently a person who doesn't give a shit about movies as much. There you go. All yours. All right, now it is time for question number 5. Question number 5. Have you ever sharded?
I don't think I have. You know, I've been alive for a longish time. I don't remember what I was doing when I was 2 or 3, but I don't have any stored memories of sharding. No.
Are you sure you know what it is? Just in case.
Yeah, it's when you shit when you fart.
Okay, all right. That's close enough.
Close enough. What? That's exactly.
I'm sorry. Good answer.
Thank you.
So you've okay. Now, I mean, it's hard to say as an adult for me, like that I have. I mean, I feel like I probably would shart once a year. I think that something like shart like happens once a year for me.
Thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah. Thank you for TMIing us like that.
Okay, you guys are two sides of the same coin. But you think, I don't know. How about everybody else? Have you sharded in the past year, Dave?
Do I have to answer this question honestly?
No, you don't.
Okay, so yes, I have.
Guy who's embarrassed he hasn't sharded in the past year. Toxic masculinity is so oppressive in strange ways.
Taj, what do you think? Have you sharded in the last year?
I think I sharded in the last year. Yeah.
All right. And how
Thanks,
about you,
Taj.
Rachel Teichman? Have you sharded in the last year?
In the last year? No.
No, but like a year and 2 days.
2 years.
No, it's been quite a while actually.
Since 22 years.
No, there was one time maybe when I had like food poisoning in 2017. I think I sharded just a little bit, and then like the last time before that I was 7. So.
Gotcha. And then for you, Rachel Prime, you think you've probably not since you were a kid have you sharded?
No, I don't think so. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm better than anybody, but I just think I run more constipated than others.
So you run, but you don't get the runs.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry about that, Rachel. I'm so sorry about Rachel Teichman's comment. I apologize on her behalf. On behalf of the show.
No apology needed.
Yo,
I am
Rachel,
not sorry.
Rachel Teichman's poop jokes are not good enough for Victor sometimes, and that's just how it is around here.
That's accurate. It's time for question number 6. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. The shark conversation was a lot of fun. Bell.
Oh,
hell
how could
yeah.
you not?
It is time for question number 6. Question number 6. What's the secret to staying positive?
Not asking me that question.
I don't understand how that doesn't make any sense as an answer.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want a good answer to that question, you should ask a positive person.
Okay. I mean, but wouldn't even a negative person might have the answer, but they just never choose to do it because they're negative.
That's fair. Secret to staying positive. Yeah, based on empirical evidence, I would say probably either exercising a lot, taking SSRIs, or...
What's an SSRI? I don't even know what that is.
A selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Oh, that's why I didn't know what it was.
It's an antidepressant.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
All right. I've never heard of that because I'm not clinically depressed or educated.
Show off.
So I should be asking you the secret to staying positive.
What's the secret to staying negative, Rachel? How do you do it?
You know, it just comes naturally.
There you go. There you go. Good answer.
Positivity's a fight, though.
Team Rachel Curmudgeon on the way.
Are you a person who goes? I mean, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but are you a person who goes to therapy?
No, but that's because I don't have health insurance.
You feel like if you had health insurance, you would go to therapy?
Yeah, I would.
I got it. So I feel like the secret to being positive is out there. And then if you don't have it, maybe a therapist does. But of course, you don't have health insurance, so you'll never know. You'll never find out.
You know
Maybe
what?
rich parents.
I'll practice positivity right now.
Uh-huh.
Maybe someday I'll have health insurance.
Yeah. I mean, if you keep up the comedy and it goes well, then you can have as much health insurance as you can buy, like a lot.
Yeah, if I keep succeeding enough with my negativity, maybe I can buy someone or buy the services of someone who will help me not be negative anymore.
Like a new parent.
Oh, I just met a therapist.
You can find a therapist.
And a therapist is a critic of parents.
You can find a therapist who does sliding scale.
That's true. I don't know if I'm going to just spill out some information about Rachel Teichman. She also just recently got her master's in social work, so she knows all the ins and outs.
Yep, I am a mental health professional, as they say.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
What is sliding scale?
I mean, it still costs more money than I really want to pay for how useless, honestly, I found therapy in the past. But I am glad that it's out there and that it's helping the people it helps.
Okay. Well, that's nice of you to save your dad some money.
Okay. I would be paying for it myself. If my dad were going to pay for my therapy, of course I would just suck him dry. What do you take me for?
Nothing.
All right. So I'm going to say no bell because there's really no answer to how to stay positive. What's the secret to staying positive? Still a mystery. So no bell. You've answered all 6 questions. It's time to decide whether or not you get $5. But before we do that, can you tell people out there where to find you?
I am at Rachel M. Comedy on Twitter, Instagram, and technically TikTok, even though I haven't posted a single thing on TikTok.
All right. Well, then, everybody, check out Rachel and follow her on all platforms, even TikTok, even though nothing will ever come. Now it's time to find out whether or not you get $5. Let's canvass the room. We'll start with Dave. What do you think? Should Rachel Prime get $5 for appearing on the show?
I would say yes, if her dad gave me $5.
If her dad gave you $5. You know what? I'm not going to try to fathom the logic there.
Thank you.
Taj, what do you think? Should
Absolutely.
Rachel get $5?
Yeah, I do think so.
Any reason
I
why?
liked all the answers. Those movies that everybody watches.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
haven't seen a bunch of them either.
All right. A little solidarity from Taj.
Nice.
Rachel Teichman, what do you think? Should Rachel McCartney get $5 for appearing on the show?
Yes, because she has a rich dad, and we need to widen that gap between the rich and the poor.
Widen it.
Yeah, we need to widen it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So if we gave her $5, we'd be contributing to widening the gap between the rich and the poor.
That's
Also,
right.
I want to state, just for anyone from Twitter who's following me for this, if I post a GoFundMe, it is because I need the money. Rich is relative, and I am just being conscientious of my privilege. I definitely have to worry about money if I, for example, injure my back, which I recently did.
Oh, shit. What happened?
I don't even know what happened, but I have a bad back now and I can't see a doctor.
Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, and again, she did say her father was rich, not her.
That's true.
And it's relatively speaking. I'm
It is
not
relative.
Yeah, it's definitely relative. I don't even want to say names because I'll offend people, but there are comedians out there whose dads have paid for publicists for them, and that is like a level of rich I cannot even fathom.
Exactly. And even those people's parents don't have oil baron money.
Some of them do.
Yeah, some of them do. That's true. Sorry, what were you saying, Taj?
I was just saying that's amazing.
Yes.
It's incredible.
To be born with a silver spoon into my mouth. Oh, how wonderful it would be. All right, so we've asked everybody except you, Rachel Prime, Rachel McCartney, do you think you should get $5 for appearing on the show?
Yes, I was born with a sense of entitlement, so of course I think that.
Oh, I'm going to agree with you. There you go. $5 for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
$5 for being on the show. You did a great job. Now it's just time to wrap it up. Dave, what did you learn from this week's show?
I think you appreciated her honesty there, right? Is that why you went with it? With the $5?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I think it was just a whim. I think it was just, I didn't give Taj $5, and then I was like, why not?
What do I need these $5 for?
Wow. Hey, can I re-answer the question of what it would take for me to punch you in the face? No.
Yes, anytime.
Oh, man. I wish you said that before.
Everybody, please check us out at 6 Unseemly and at unseemlyquestions.com.
Starbane's Audio, a podcast network.